All right, so we're still reading Joyce Reed's book. It's called Hurt. Used to live here, and sometimes beauty can conceal the deepest scars. Chapter 2. All right, here we go. Love versus money. I used to feel that my mom would sometimes buy our love. When we needed advice or someone to talk to, my mom was not the communicator at all. I still have letters that I wrote my mom to talk to her about and relay messages. I learned at a young age that writing was the best way to communicate to her and others. We didn't want for anything, and we went places and had a great time. That was all fun, but what a child needs is love. They need to be held, hugged, and given confirmation that everything will be okay. They want to hear, I am here for you. I love you and will protect you. Did I blame my mother? Yes, I did. Do I understand now? Yes, I do. So telling my mom about her boyfriend Billy was something that I could not do because she worked too much and needed the help after her divorce. I only understand now why she wasn't there, but I am still trying to put my finger on why she didn't listen to us and protect us. After a year, my mother finally left Billy. I guess it was because we would complain and run away a lot. We were happy about that. We finally had our mom to ourselves, but we were wrong. She was still the same working mom. She was a single mom, so she had to do what she had to do to make ends meet. The start of something different. When I turned 7, she met a man by the name of Bug, and he had 3 kids of his own, and we were a happy family again. We now had a step we had now had a stepbrother and 2 stepsisters, and they were our age. We went everywhere together and had fun. Even the small things made us happy, like going to the park or having picnics and barbecues at the park. He was nice to us, and it was a plus that he had children that were in our age group. It made it a lot easier to adjust. Me and all the girls would get together in our basement and make up dance routines and practice them for a week and get the parents together and show them what we had been working on. I was always the shy one in the group with no rhythm at all. I danced like a white girl, as they say. It was like my body was stuck to the ground and frozen, and I was dancing to my own beat. Everyone would be mad at me because I just couldn't get the dance routine together for anything in the world. They sometimes just left me out of it. We had family night on Fridays. We would get together and play board games like Spade and Nintendo games and Atari all night until we all passed out in the living room on the floor. We never really got in trouble, and in the beginning, there were no fighting between my mom and him at all. I just thought my life was perfect and I had everything I ever wanted. My stepbrother and sisters eventually moved in with us on May Street. Before they moved in, it would be so sad to see them have to go home to their mom's house in Iowa. We knew it would be a long time before we would see them again. We all begged for them to move in with us. When it was time for Bug to take them home, we would cry until next time. Someone got tired of it. So, if anything needed to be done and fixed, then Michael was the go to person. If you needed your tires flattened or your windows busted or even a distraction for a while, he was definitely the go to boy. My brother once told them that he would flatten Bug's tires so they could never go back home. That was the day that they moved with us. They couldn't miss any more days of school, so they just transferred to Chicago schools. It was perfect for all of us. We found room in the 6 bedroom house on May Street. All the fun lasted a few years. The tables turned. My mother was a happy person then. She never really whipped us at all anyway. She just allowed her partner to do it. It went from a few hits to get in the tub and don't dry off. Now go hold the pole in the living room and get beat with the extension cord over and over again. We had belt marks and whips all over our bodies. After getting beat like that, it would only make me want to do more damage and be even worse. My brother and I would do crazy things like break things and lie about it, get each other in trouble, or he would stick marbles in his nose so he wouldn't have to go to school. I would do other things like go to the school and announce that I had wingworm in a place that couldn't be seen while my Catholic uniform was on. I just didn't like school, so I did what I could to be out. I was only in fourth grade and hated school then. Maybe I didn't like school because I was transferred 5 times but went to 4 different schools. If I could go back and be a kid again, I would have never missed a day of school and did extra work. No matter what, I always had good grades in school, even though I hated it. It was fun once you were there. The part I hated was going to bed early or waking up at the crack of dawn. We went to a Catholic school, so we had to be there at 7 a.m. in the morning, and we had to catch the bus because my mom had to work, of course. Mass would be on Tuesday and Thursday. We would have to pray to Mary. I didn't like that either because at home, my mom was a Jehovah's Witness along with my granny and grandma. They were true believers. I was so confused but didn't complain because I didn't listen to any of it anyway. I was young and didn't really care. I was ready to get into more trouble. Well, not trouble, but be a kid and have fun in the sun and enjoy life. I was in a Catholic school going to Mass, and on Wednesdays and Sundays, I would study to be a Jehovah's Witness. Was I really supposed to understand any of it? I was confused the whole time. It's like you trying to teach a baby how to speak Spanish at home, but only speak English around him. He would eventually learn English before Spanish. Later on in the process, he was confused because he was hearing one thing but instilled to learn what they wanted him to learn. At school, I learned to pray for Mary, and at home, I learned that heaven was colorful and you couldn't do certain things like celebrating holidays. We only celebrated birthdays, and it seemed like we had Bible study every other day. Park disaster. One day, one of my stepsisters and I were sneaking out to go to the park because we were on punishment and we decided to go on our own, and I paid for it. It was around 9 in the morning. We both walked to the park that was just right down the street from May Street, more than 3 blocks away from the house. And back then, it was okay for 2 young girls to walk to the park and not have to look around to see if someone was going to try to rob or snatch you. The world is not like it used to be at all. I remember being able to play outside, walk to the store, and get on the bus without a beating or robbery or even a killing taking place. It used to be okay. As we got to the park, with no worries, all we could see were opportunities to play and have fun while Bug was still cooking breakfast back home on May Street. There was this thing that we used to do. See how high you can swing and then jump off while you were still swinging. Okay, I can do this, I thought to myself. I've seen this done so many times, and I knew I could do it because I wasn't your typical girly girl. I was a little tomboy, so I was confident in my decision I made. While we were on the swing, we swung really high, and my stepsisters jumped off first, landing safely on the ground. Then it was my turn. I wanted to swing higher and try to jump off to show off and prove to her that I could go higher than she did. But I did the opposite. I flew off going backwards, and when I flipped over, I landed on my face and I hit my face on some bricks. My sister was screaming and crying and yelling because I was not moving or responding at all. I thought I was alert and knew what was going on around me, and I could hear everything that was going on, but my body wouldn't move at all. My sister tried to pick me up and walk me home, but I passed out in the middle of the street, and that's really all that I remember. All right. See you tomorrow for part 3. Thanks for reading with me. Happy Black History Month.